Hey everyone, Evan Kirstel with John Yasley of Ericsson having a great discussion around the future of fixed wireless access. John, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Ivan. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for joining me here. Maybe a quick introduction to yourself. Ericsson needs no introduction, but who are you and what do you do at Ericsson?
Yes, I'm driving our global fixed wireless access engagements. So really supporting our customers to really embrace this prominent 5G use case, so they can really find new revenue sources and really monetize on the capabilities that 5G is bringing to the market.
Yeah, it's an exciting time in 5G, particularly exciting with fixed wireless access. It's been a long time coming. I've been in telecom for 30 plus years and it's been on the radar, but it's very real today. So, why is 5G fixed wireless access coming to the forefront now? And why is it so important both to end users, like myself, and service providers?
Yeah, so I think that's a very good question, and I have been also for a couple of years in the industry, and really fixed wireless in itself, it's not something that is new, but we really have seen now, and in particular with 5G, a lot of strong momentum. I think first, I think if we go from a consumer's point of view, I think the past years, a lot of working and study from home really showed to us that the need for fast and reliable broadband, everybody really sees that is key. Then to serve that demand, I think what 5G brings a very strong technology supporting the usage needs from the home. You get with 5G a lot of more spectrum. You get new technological benefits like massive MIMO. And then 5G is the fastest of all the technology generations, bringing a lot of scale and a lot of affordable devices in a short period of time. So I think these three factors really are the foundation for why we see fixed wireless really picking up.
Yeah, and it is indeed very time critical. We're moving into this new era of hybrid work, remote work, distributed work. We're trying to close the digital divide. Um, so tell us, what's the criticality of deploying 5G broadband access to the home and to businesses now? Why now, and what's the sense of urgency that you're seeing out in the
Yeah,
marketplace?
I think the sense of urgency it's really that you know we want connectivity now. People don't want to wait. The same feeling as sometimes you are in a zone where you don't have connectivity. So I think people really want connectivity now, and if it is to work, to study, to socialize, I think that has become critical to our lives. Then I think it's important concept of digital divide, because you can have multiple angles. You can think about people living in cities or people living in rural areas. You can think about and that is even developed countries. Then of course developing countries, there is like hundreds of millions of people that don't have good connectivity. So that's a big digital divide. If you think about small companies, uh, they typically have not as great connectivity as large enterprises. So that's another dimension for digital divide. And I think it all boils down that people want connectivity. And one of the key aspects for fixed wireless is that it's a very fast deployment, because we are leveraging these networks we have built in these past 30 years you've been in the industry, where we build sites and now we cover 95% of the world population. So really putting 5G high capacity on those existing sites, that is very fast. And then many of these users can do self-installation of the fixed wireless device at home. So I think time to market becomes something very, very good for fixed wireless.
Yeah, indeed, time to market, time to service. Super important. And carriers, as you know, have many options for broadband, including many proprietary solutions out there. So what are you seeing as some of the benefits for 5G fixed wireless compared to other broadband solutions?
I think the answer is scale, scale, and scale. And these three scales are, the first one is network scale, because at 5G, you are building networks that can serve multiple use cases. So it is mobile broadband, IoT, and fixed wireless. So you have that scale to really put your business case standing on three legs. Then I think the other scale that we talked about is this device ecosystem for the 3GPP. And we talked about with 5G now, close to 1 billion 5G users globally. So you really have that scale that lowers the device cost, and you have many options. So I think that part of scale. And then the last scale, I think it's about the scale of innovation of the 3GPP ecosystem, that we bring new technology developments, we bring more spectrum, so really creates a future proofness for that. So I think scale is a key differentiator for the 3GPP fixed wireless that makes really solid case for CSPs.
Yeah, I was really excited to have this video because I actually have some personal anecdotal experience with fixed wireless. I was looking for a broadband solution as a content creator for our little cabin up in New Hampshire. And, we looked at all the options. Cable was asking for a couple $1,000 to dig a trench up to our cabin. And then Starlink was exciting, but had a number of limitations and, it was pretty expensive. And ultimately, we found a fixed wireless option that was even cheaper than what cable would have been, and really practical and easy
Mm.
to deploy. So I was pretty excited as a consumer. What are you seeing on the carrier side in terms of fixed wireless best practices, deployment, and getting it out to their customers?
Yeah, so I think we also see a very strong level of adoption among carriers. So today, in fact, we see 75% of carriers have fixed wireless access offerings. Then for 5G, that is about a third of carriers, and we're talking about 300 that we survey in over 100 countries.
Mm.
Then I think we support carriers in different parts of the engagement. We start sometimes more on the planning phase. They're gonna have a spectrum auction. They want to say, okay, it's my business plan and how fixed wireless can be part of that. Then we work a lot in some parts. Okay, how are you going to plan for launching fixed wireless and understand? Okay, what will be my offering? And how do I plan my network to do that? Then once that you pass that phase, we work a lot on the scaling phase. You have the service. Are you getting enough customers? Are you growing? Are you targeting the right locations? How your offering is being perceived in the market? And then from that growing phase, other customers say, okay, now I want to think about how do I take it to the next level, maybe selling speed-based or adding higher speeds. So I think there is a multitude of discussions and level of maturity with the customers, but we see a very strong both adoption, but also momentum in the market.
That's fantastic. And I see momentum as well here in the US. I've received marketing info from all three of the wireless carriers who are positioning FG fixed wireless, 5G fixed wireless access actively. So they clearly see the business opportunity. What are you seeing globally in terms of the business case and monetization of 5G fixed wireless
Mm.
and the return on that investment?
Yeah, so I think in North America we have seen a very strong momentum in the past, in the second half of 2022, or in the past 2 quarters of Q2 and Q3. Fixed wireless capture all broadband net adds, so we
Mm.
see a very strong momentum there. I think one thing that we discuss a lot with customers to monetization is to start having speed-based fixed wireless, where you sell speeds similar to where you buy speed fixed broadband. So you can buy price plans of 100, 200, 500 megabit. So that's a way to monetize, but also address multiple price points, because you're gonna have some consumers that are fine with 50 megabit. Then you're gonna have other ones that want higher speeds, because maybe they are doing more video productions like you, or
Mhm.
they work in IT intensive business. So I think that part, I think a very important part on the dialogue on how to monetize. And then the other part I would say is, once you select that fixed wireless access locations, how you work on scaling up so you increase the yield and improve your returns. Typically, we see fixed wireless payback for network investments with like a 2 year time frame. So really about scaling and achieving that becomes an important part of the business case.
Fantastic. And as always, Ericsson puts out tremendous market data and insights, and that's no case. That's in case here with in fixed wireless. There's a great handbook I was just reading as we're speaking, on what's new in fixed wireless looking forward to 2023. And it's a really comprehensive and in-depth guide to the marketplace. Tell us about this piece of content that you put together and some of the
Yeah.
updated market developments and tech breakthroughs that you're documenting here.
Yeah, so I think that's a material that we have been putting together. We sum up our insights that we collect, and really about adding additional insights to support our CSPs, but also to help regulators that are
Mm,
working on closing the digital divide, and really to see that they have a new tool to address that. So in the fixed wireless handbook, we try to put all our insights, and not only from a market network on how to do things. We have some cases. We talk about the device market. So we try to put all this together, and really to have a solid how to do things for fixed wireless.
yeah, solid indeed. It makes for very, very good reading. Let's talk tech. Let's talk some of the recent advancements in millimeter wave fixed wireless access and devices and range. And you guys at Ericsson are always pushing the bleeding edge of physics and technology and silicon and software. What's new that's going to drive the business forward into 2023?
Yeah, so I think we have one new feature that excites us a lot, which is called millimeter wave extended range, and I think it's still like the potential of millimeter wave. It is not well fully understood, and I think these features really shows what you can do. I think a lot of people still relate millimeter wave to you're gonna get coverage to just a few hundred meters. So with millimeter wave extended range, we have today commercial customers with fixed wireless access over millimeter wave with a range of 5 kilometers. Then we just did a recent trial in Malaysia where we pass over uh, 11 kilometers and you get gigabit
Wow.
speeds. Uh, so I think one is, let's say, the distance is not well understood. I think the second part I would say is that it's not that you're only going to use millimeter wave, because I think some millimeter wave for propagation, you need to have line of sight. So let's say that you and I are customers. I'm leaving your neighbor in the cabin where you live. Then let's say that you have line of sight to the tower. Then you're
Mhm.
gonna get that millimeter wave to you. But
Mm.
then what happens to John that is no line of sight? Then
Mm.
the carrier, they're gonna also have a mid-band 5G. And then what we'll do is that they will serve me with that mid-band. So because they're gonna use millimeter wave to you, they're gonna have more of those mid-band resources to serve non-line of sites like myself. So at the end of the day, both of us will get a better service than before, than only using mid-band. So I think the idea of combining millimeter wave with mid-band, I think that's very important. Then the third aspect, I think, is we would be both being served from an existing tower that you have close by to that cabin.
Mm.
So it's not that you need to do a densification using light poles for millimeter wave. It also works to put millimeter wave on those towers that you operators already have. So I think these three aspects, long distance for millimeter wave combined with other spectrum assets, and then millimeter wave on the towers. I think these are three ingredients that make this very exciting. We see more and more interest on the market, and I think that's clearly low-hanging fruit for operators to start to explore.
Yeah, that's low-hanging fruit indeed. Let's talk around use cases and examples and practical deployments. Before I get your insights, I mean, one I'm super excited about is sort of diversity and disaster recovery. I have a small business and I use a 5G device for backup in the event of a storm or an outage, which isn't infrequent here in the U.S. We've seen we have lots of hurricanes and we have wildfires and we have earthquakes and we have terrible storms almost every other week. Communications is as vital as food, water, electricity these days. And so I see that as a major use case. What else do you see
Yeah.
in terms of the practical
Yes.
examples?
So I think that's a good aspect that you are raising here. I think one is this idea of redundancy
Hmm.
that you can think about, let's say, fixed wireless as a second line or as a backup in case your main line doesn't work. I think that is one aspect. And that is important not only for consumers. I think a lot of businesses have this failover. And some of if you are let's say a bank or some type of retail that you need to be with a high uptime, you want to have that backup. Then I think the other point that you mentioned, like disaster recovery, I think we see natural disasters, storms, fire, and sometimes a lot of these locations used to have copper lines to provide broadband. And then I think we see a lot of these copper line replacement, let's say post disaster. Then instead of building a new copper line, you're gonna go for fixed wireless, where you're gonna be able to go back uptime at a much faster way. So either proactively or as a result of a disaster, we see fixed wireless being used in those type of situations.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for sharing, your insights and updates and analysis. I imagine you're looking forward to a bit of downtime over the holidays. Holidays, and any travel? You guys travel over all over the world at Ericsson all the time. You must be looking for a bit of downtime and some R&R, as we say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be doing some traveling, and yeah, so I will be going back home to Brazil,
Oh,
and
nice.
hopefully get some time with family. Then even when I go on vacation, sometimes I look at there are many fixed wireless addressing secondary homes. So let's see what I find it during this vacation.
Well, you're a true wireless geek if you're looking around,
Yeah.
looking at trying to find antennas and radio towers
Oh,
as you're on vacation like we do.
thank
But
you.
have a great break. Have a great vacation. Safe travels, and thanks for sharing. Your
Yeah.
update on the future of the fixed
Thank
wireless
you, and I
industry.
also wish you great holidays and break.
Thanks so much.